Hi there, it's David John, the Resourceful Coach, and what we're going to do today, I'm going to do a little 4-hole challenge. We're going to see what I call what's my level today. And throughout my videos, the most important thing is to get your expectation in line with your ability. So we're going to play the second hole here to start with, and it's a par 3. It's a hole, looking at my data, and you can go back and look at my 12 shots of golf data. It's a hole for me, I call it a 3.2 hole. Even though it's a par 3, even as a scratch golfer, I'm going to bogey this 20% of the time. So my average score on this hole will be 3.2. So 1 in 5 times I will make a 4. On average, 4 out of 5 times I will make a 3. So what would be a par shot from here? What would be a sort of keeping the momentum going to keep that average up? It's a shot from here for me. If I get it anywhere, probably 40, 45 feet from the hole on the green, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. That's the goal. Okay, now, whenever I play, always the most important thing, I'm looking to play the best possible shot. I know I've been fortunate, I've had 4 hole-in-ones in my life, so I could get a hole-in-one. But realistically, that isn't going to happen very often. So I'm looking to play the best possible shot, look at the conditions, look at what I've got, play it to the best of my ability. If it ends up somewhere between, let's say, a really nice shot, which would probably be 10 feet, to that 40-foot number, I've done the job. I'm happy with that. I'll be happy with that result. Okay, it's playing 141 yards today. It's a little bit chilly out here today, a bit of breeze. Okay, so as I said, all I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the shots, we'll play the holes. So we're going to do 4 holes. And at the end of the shot, we'll say, okay, relative to my level, what have I done? Have I done what I'm meant to do? Am I worse? Am I better? And then relative to that, if it's worse than what I should be doing, what level of handicap have I actually dropped back to? So that's sort of quite important to understand as we're going along. Okay, so we've got a 7-iron today, even though it's 141 yards. Quite chilly, flag there. Looks a little bit front of the green. So again, this should take me nicely to the middle of the green, give me that sort of 40-foot number. Let's see what we get. So struck it nicely. It's on line. It's just whether I've chosen the right club. Okay, it's landed on the green. Greens, have watered them quite heavily this morning, so I think that's pretty much plugged in its own mark. Okay, we'll go down and have a look. Anything inside 40 feet's good. Let's go and have a look. So let's see what we've got. Really happy with that result. As I said off the tee, you can see there's my pitch mark. The tee's back there. The ball's literally jumped back a foot. So most important thing, look after your golf course. Repair your pitch mark. Okay, mark my ball, and then I'm going to go through my green reading method and work out what we've got here going down to the hole. So for me, really important to sort of look at what we've got. Let's just give ourselves some data back. So what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 5 paces away. So about 12 feet. We were happy. 40 foot would have been a par shot. Okay. Oh, there's a ball come from another hole. And we've got it to 12 feet. So 12 feet would be, I've probably gained, I've gone from, this is quite good actually, I've gained the opportunity from back there. It's about a 20% chance I was going to bogey it. I've hit such a nice shot, there's now a 20% chance I'm actually going to birdie it for my level. Okay, so now it's that importance of reading the putt and making sure we go through the process of what we're doing. Okay, so for me, if you've watched my green reading method, I walk to the hole, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm now looking for the low point of the hole. I'm thinking if you filled that hole up with water, should have come out here earlier when they were watering the greens, and if they've watered, I can feel it under my feet, they're really soft today, really nice. I think the low point's here. So my ball, if I drew a line straight up, I'm 6 o'clock here. There's a leaf just as the camera looks at it to the right of the ball, that's 12 o'clock. I'm not even probably 1 o'clock. So 5 paces, it's an average slope. That's a 10%, that's a 10-inch break, but I'm only 20% of that. So this is probably a right lip putt, just on the right edge, down the hill, because again, I'm up near the 12 o'clock, I know it's a downhill putt. Again, anything on your line, it's that sort of time of year. We're sort of coming into spring, all the blossom and that is done, but there's a lot of stuff coming off the trees. Any loose impediments, get them off your line. It's interesting, you read it, and I'm going to trust my read. So I'm just reading just outside right lip. And the goal, run it down. If I hole it, as I said, there's only 20% chance I'm going to hole it. Roll it down that hill. Get it rolling down. Turn, turn, turn. Oh, I didn't move. Well, there it is. There's the movement right at the end. So If it had been dead weight, I'd have probably holed it. But because I like to get the ball just a little bit past the hole, ran only probably 6 to 9 inches past, it's gone past. But remember, I'm happy with that. And what made it easy, people get a bit frustrated, think, oh, I didn't hold the putt. But I made it easier because I got the tee shot in such a good position. So we've gained a little bit there. In my round, you're going to see as we go through some of these other holes, we've got 3 par 4s we're now going to play. They will all be around about that 4 number. One of them might even be less than an average of par 4 for me as a scratch golfer. So I've gained 0.2 there, 3.2, I shot 3. So I've gained a little bit. I'm going to be really happy. I've hit a nice 7-iron. I hit a good putt. I've got to go to the next hole with confidence, not walking away disappointment I didn't make the birdie, but actually, wow, if I keep giving myself chances, can I hold the putt and I can start making some birdies? Okay, so at the moment, I'm in a really good frame of mind. I'm going to go and play, we're going to play the 12th hole rather than the 3rd. Slightly different tee shot. Gives us a little bit of a different look to Corinthians. So I've come to the 12th tee, and again, let's use some data to start with. So this is a now 300-yard hole, 303 yards to be exact, and that becomes a 3.8 hole as a scratch golfer. So let's just get that in perspective. So now we've gone from a hole where we're going to 20% of the time on average we would bogey it. We're now looking at a hole 20% the chance I would birdie it. Now, this is where I'm quite clever with this. This is people now think, oh, I've got to birdie it. I should be birdieing this hole. I've got to do it. I've gained a bit there. If I go par, I'm where I should be after 2 holes. So if I look at my data, this is a 3.8 hole. My tee shot relative to that, I'd want to be somewhere between 60 and 80 yards to maintain that idea. That's 60 to 80 yards from the green. That's a drive of somewhere between 220 to 240. But I'm going to look at the bigger number here. I'm going to look at the 80% number. So if I can get this ball within 100 yards, on average, I would get down in 3. I would still get my 4. Remember, 80% of the time, I would get down in 4. Okay. I'm also then going to use the confidence from the lovely 7-iron I hit into the last to think, well, if I can get this 100, even 120 yards from the green, can I put that ball, like I did on the previous hole, inside 15 feet and give myself an outside chance that I could still make the birdie? So can you see how I'm taking the pressure off myself? I'm not looking at, oh, I should be birdieing this, and today's going to be that day I've got to birdie it. I'm not thinking that at all. I'm actually saying, I'll take a par now. If you said to me, you can go par on those 2 holes, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing, I'd run to the next tee. But we're out here to see what happens. So we're going to look at it. First hole was really good. So we've got a marker post up there. I know that if I get to that, and I need to be past that to get inside that 100 yards, so I'm taking a hybrid, which I know for me is probably in these conditions, a little bit into the wind, is a 200-yard club. And it should hit the slope and it will run down. And there's still a chance I could be in that 60 to 80-yard bracket, but realistically, I know I'm probably going to be nearer the 100 yards. Okay, so that's no pressure. That's the key down, taking the pressure off myself, see the shot clearly, what I'm going to do, aim at that post. Let's play. So, little draw coming round. Well, that's all on the bounce now. And it seemed to get a really big bounce going down the hole. We'll go and have a look. I think it'll be somewhere between those 2 numbers, between 60 and 100 yards. So, unless I've been really unlucky with the bounce, we've done what we wanted to do. Again, I'm going to walk off this tee. This is really important between shots. Relaxed, comfortable, happy. So I'm not stressed out. I'm not walking down there going, oh, what am I meant to be doing? Chill out. It's meant to be fun. Golf's a game. Games are meant to be fun. But until I get down there, I don't know the result. But it looked pretty good. Let's go and have a look. So here we are. We're on the fairway. As I said, got a big bounce. It's kept it going down the fairway. Even though we're only just coming into May. Okay, and just wait a second. We've got a Spitfire going over our head. That's the lovely thing about being in Kent. We get this most days. Somebody's out there spending a lot of money on going out on a Spitfire plane. Not sure if you can hear that on the microphone. But while he's flying over, let's get a yardage. And we wanted to be around that 100-yard mark. Anything under that's good. So we've got 91 yards to go. Let's just get rid of that. So we're in that area, okay? We're in that area where we said probably now, from here, I've probably got about a 1 in 20 chance I'd get down for a birdie. So I'm still on that level of making a par. So again, I'm in such a good frame of mind. That's the important thing. And that's why this data is so important. And what I'll probably do, actually, yeah, I will do it. I will post my spreadsheet so you can see it for what a scratch golfer will do. Okay, I will post that at the end of this video. And it's set up for around about 5 different positions on a golf course and every 20 yards. So that's whether it's off the tee, fairway, rough, bunkers, and what we call recovery shots, and then you're putting. And it'll give you an average number from that position to get it into the hole. So you can start to understand a little bit what we're saying here. Okay, so this is now still pretty much, on average, I'm going to get down in 3. Okay, now, flag's cut a little bit middle to left. There's a bush right in the middle of the green. They've got to go over a pond. So for me, that's the perfect shot. Aim at that bush, middle of the green. If I get the distance right, 90 yards, I've got a gap wedge here. I'm just going to play that onto the green. A little bit of a downhill lie, so I'm just putting a little bit of weight left side. Feel my posture from there. Nice smooth swing. Hit the green. Okay, and it's gone a little bit left of the line I went on, but that's where the flag is. And we've got a result. And that's the thing. Sometimes you will hit a shot, because I was sensible to play to the middle of the green. You might push or pull it. And you often hear this on TV. Sometimes they say, well, he didn't really go for that flag. I didn't aim at that flag, because if I pulled it on that, I'd have missed the green. But because I aimed middle of the green, and I did fractionally pull it from that slightly hanging lie, I've ended up getting a really good result. So that sometimes happens. Sometimes it's in your favour, sometimes it isn't. So again, I'm going to walk down this fairway very happy. And the goal was to be, if we could be somewhere around about 10 to 15 feet on the tee, that still gives me my 20% chance of a birdie. Let's see if I've got that chance. So I've come up onto the green. First thing, always do, repair my pitch mark. Okay, and again, nicely struck shot, stop within a couple of feet. Okay, and we're going to go through our sort of process of what we're doing. So the paces will tell us how far we are away from the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for me, that's about 10 feet. So let's just go through a little bit of data. It was a 3.8 shot on the tee. We then reduced it down to 2.9. And now we're down to a 1.7. So we've played 2 shots. Okay, take that off the 3.8. We should be at 1.8. We're now 1.7. So we're a little bit ahead of the game. But still, the key thing to understand here is, on average, I will 2-putt this more than holing it. It's a 30% chance of holing it, 70% chance I'm going to 2-putt it. We know it's 4 paces, okay? The low point is running down this way. Okay, that's my rule at this hole. There's the bush behind me. So if this is 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock is now there. That would be straight downhill putt. I'm coming from 10 o'clock. Okay, so 4 paces, an average slope, 4 times 2 is 8. If you've done my green reading method, 10 o'clock is a maximum break. So this is going to break 8 inches. Okay, so about 2 hole widths from left to right down to that hole. So again, find that point left of the hole. That's what I do. I visualize it there and then mentally think, right, I'm coming down the hill, so it's going to be quicker than normal. Trust that line. Get it running down there, turn. Oh, again, a little bit like the last hole. If it had probably been dead weight, I'd have holed both of them for birdie. I'd be 2 under. Instead, we've got 2 pars. Remember, it was a 3.2, then a 3.8. That adds up to 7, and we've gone 3, 4, 7. I'm happy. Let's go play the next hole. We're going to play the 4th hole now, which is one of my favourite holes. Really pretty hole. We go up the slope, and then we do what I call a 10 o'clock dog leg into the trees, up to the green. Let's go and see how we can do on that one. So I've arrived on the 4th tee. It's a 360-yard hole. Again, the data suggests this, even as a scratch golfer, is around about a 4 hole. Okay, it's a par hole. It's not a hole I'm really going to birdie or bogey too often. It is a set par hole, so a standard 4. So then when I look at the data from there, is what would on average take me to play 3 shots to get in the hole would be around that 100 to 140 yard mark. That's what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for a tee shot here. Really, in my mind, anything around 220 to 250 would be lovely. Now I've got to take into consideration the conditions that we've got up there. Little bit of breeze, but I'm taking a reading to the trees in the distance, which are 240 yards. Okay, so I don't really want to reach those trees, but because of the conditions, I've still, probably to get what I want, I've got to hit the driver. So this is a hole, I said on the last green, let's get rid of this, is I like this hole, not because it's an easy hole, and a lot of people like holes because they're easy. I like it because if I ever par this hole or birdie it, I get so much satisfaction. I think that's the key thing. It's a challenge. This hole for me is a challenge. It's about getting the tee shot in the right place. Now, if you've played at Corinthians before, left is dead. You do not want to go left. Everybody thinks, oh, cut the corner. You can't. The trees are too big. You can see the lovely striped fairway. Pick a stripe. There's two sets of trees up there, slightly lighter coloured trees on the right. I'd rather be on the left edge of those trees. That's where I'd like to be. Even if I go in the light rough, I don't mind that, because it opens the hole up. I know I can get on the green. If I try and be too clever and end up going that way, then I get blocked out, and then I just literally, I have to take on the ridiculous shot, which never really works, or I'm just playing out short, and then I've got to back myself maybe from 60 yards to get up and down. So middle right side of this fairway, again, that's just a little bit of help, anybody coming down and playing Corinthians. Okay, I've got the club, I think in these conditions, probably going to go about 230 today because of the wind and everything. So I shouldn't reach the trees. So trust that. Again, we're feeling good. We've made two, well, quite easy tap-in pars because we've played nicely. Let's keep that momentum going. Good swing. Well, I'm on the line I want. It's just hopefully the ground, it's not going to run on too much, but I can't hit it on a better line. Again, we got a really good result on the last tee. Have we got that chance on this tee? Well, until we get there, we won't find out. But let's go and have a look. We're looking for that shot. Have we got it now somewhere? That sort of 100 to 130, 140 yard mark, and we're playing what we're meant to do. But at the moment, everything's going really nicely. So as I said on the tee shot was a lovely struck shot. If anything, again, slightly firm ground. It's just run 10 yards further than I like. I'm right on the edge of the trees. I'm not sure if the camera's picking up. I've got the overhanging tree here. I've got 138 to go. So I'm around my number. Okay, I think that's the key thing. We said 100 to 140. We're just inside that number. Okay, but it's now the first shot. I've probably got to start to think a little bit out away from what you'd say the conventional shot. I've got to think my way through this to suddenly, how can I hit the green? Now, what would be a par shot? We want to make a 4. Anywhere on the green, will I back myself as a professional golfer to 2-putt it? Yes, but I'd like to be inside 40 feet. If I then look at it, always looking to play the best possible shot. Have I played a shot like this before, under trees, onto the green? Yes, and I've probably put something up within 5 feet. So you've got to recall that shot, remind yourself of that shot. So there's our 2 bracket again. Okay, because I'm not in a great position, I'm not beating myself up, but I'm now taking on the challenge of the shot. Ultimately, 20 feet would be lovely. That would be a really, really good result. I'll take that all day long. Now, we hit 140 yards on our first hole, which was the second hole on Corinthians, the par 3. But I've got to go low. I've got to go under the tree. So I'm going to punch a 6-iron. I'm going to take one more club. I'm going to punch it. So what I do in this shot, the first thing I do when I'm trying to take power off a shot, first thing I'll do is I'll narrow the stance. And because I want to punch it low, I'm going to play this a little bit back in my stance. It will feel like a 3/4 swing to me, but I'm going to commit. Okay, that's the key thing. I'm still on par here. It's just the fact I've got a tree in my way. So I haven't really lost anything. I'm still playing scratch golf. I'm doing okay. Let's see if we can execute this shot. So keep it low. See the shot going under the tree. I've chosen the club. I've created a setup. Now let's commit. Well, it's bang on line. Didn't hit the tree. All on the bounce now. There's a bit of a ridge there. Remember what we said. Let's just get that divot. If we can get this, as I said, mentally, 5 feet, amazing. I know it's not 5 feet away, but really anything between 20 and 40 feet, I will take it now. Okay, but let's go and have a look. But I was really happy with that shot. The strike was good. We're having a good day striking the ball today. On this occasion, it was too good a strike off the tee, made the next shot a little bit more interesting, a little bit more of a challenge, but I think we did okay. If I'm inside that 40 feet, I'll take it. So I've come up onto the green. I'm going to read it sort of from the hole back. And why I'm doing this is because this is sometimes what happens when you're playing, and it's a really good thing because then you don't really have to think too much about reading the putt. So back to my idea. If I filled the hole up with water, where would it flow? It's going to flow straight to my golf ball. That's the low point. It's going to run down. If you're looking from the top of the green here at 4, it all goes towards the front left side there, right side as you're coming up the hole. Okay, we were looking anything inside 40 feet is good. Okay, so let's just pace it out. Let's work out what we've got. And I'm just going to go straight at it. Nothing else to read. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 paces, so 20 feet. So we're pretty much bang on where we should be. Okay, it's going to go straight up that hill. Again, mark your ball, clean it, because you're not having to read the putt too much. Don't get too sort of thinking, oh, is there other things? Just go for it. You're in position. Make the putt. All right. This is a sort of a green light putt, you'd say, for a tour player on a good green. It's dead straight. He's just going to aim, put it up that hill. Oh, David, hit it. Again, I'll just say it's a little bit spring greens, didn't run as smoothly, but there we go. We've got another par. So we've played those holes and we should be through that. Gone 3, 4, 4. We've pretty much done it. We're going to play one more hole. We're going to play a hole very rarely play, which is the 15th hole. And it's a little bit different looking hole because you sort of got to go, you've got 2 ways of playing the hole. For me, I can cut the corner. We're going to show you that shot today. See if that gains me an advantage or whether that could be an error. Let's find out. So we're on hole 15, and as I normally play off the 6, which is the lovely hole that has a sort of the big wide fairway, and then it dog legs round, you've got the pond on the left side. From this tee box, very, very different hole, okay? I'm not sure if the camera picks up, but there's the fairway over there. So majority of my golfers that I work with, we sort of encourage them to go out there and then play up, but it does probably make it more like a par 5 than a par 4, and it's 370 yards. So for me, it's a 4.1 hole. It's a hole, again, 90% of the time I'm going to par it, 10% of the time I'm going to bogey it. Now, I've taken some data, and again, this is important to understand. Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest with my golf. I'm getting older. You guys always pick up on the length of my swing. I know, unless there's a howling gale behind me, I'm not going to hit the ball 300 yards. But I've taken some data to look at the trees that are ahead of me. I'm going over an out of bounds field here, which has normally got cows in it. And I know those trees there are, the first lot are about 160 yards away. The further ones are about 180, 190 yards. Now, people look at that and go, I've just got to get it 190 yards. Well, you haven't really, because you've got to carry them. So if you can know you can hit a ball 190 yards, go that way. Do not go that way. If you go straight, you're going to plough it. It's going to catch the top of the trees, chip out. You might still be able to get on for 3, but you'll be a little bit frustrated. So we need a drive here that's going to carry 225, 230. If you've got that in your game, do it. I now know, yeah, I'm getting a little bit older. The body's not quite as fit as it was. I don't play as much golf. That's not my limit, but I know it's starting to get there. So I'm going to have to watch this hole over the next couple of years to sort of realise. And the other thing that happens is I'm getting older, but those trees are getting bigger. Okay, so this is just a little bit of course management. But I'm going to back myself. The reason today, as we've gone through this, you can see the sun's come out. It's got warmer, and I can feel, as I've got the back to the camera, I can feel the wind on my back. And I know it's over 300 yards to go over the other side. So I know I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to pick a tree. I'm going to go a little bit right of where I'd normally probably go, just to see where I am at the moment. Pick that tree. And I just want the rhythm of that tee shot I hit on the last hole, because that was lovely. If I hit it like that, I'm over. So you've got to trust what you've done before. Well, I've struck it. I've definitely got the height. Didn't hear any trees being hit. And sometimes you can see it come around on the fairway. I haven't quite seen that yet, but I would expect to be on the fairway. And a par shot would be around about that 130, 140 yards away from the green. But here's the advantage. If I have got that carry right, I may have gained a bit. I might be inside 100 yards. I'll be very disappointed if I'm not in a good position, but that's golf. Let's go and find out and see if we can take advantage of a good shot, or have we got to try and work something out if we haven't been as lucky. So I've come up to my ball and we're staying on the tee, getting a little bit old, and we've hit that ball through the fairway. We've gone over the trees, lovely. What I probably could have done now in hindsight, but again, didn't know what the body was doing. I could have cut a little bit more, but on the camera you can see where the pond is. So if you go too far left, you can land straight in the water. So I've probably hit that drive 270, 275, expecting to go nearer 240, 250. In one way, there's part of me going, good, I can still do it. And another part of me going, oh, I'm not in a great position here. So we're in rough, and this is where it's important to understand. So I'm now only 80 yards from the green. Let me just double check that. I'm sure that's what I got. 83 yards to the green. Okay, let's get rid of that again. And if I was on the fairway, this is now a shot on 10% of the time I'd get down in 2, 90% down in 3, but it now reverses. Now I'm in the rough, I've got less control on the ball. So now it goes from still a 90% chance I'm going to get down in 3, but there's a 10% chance I'm going to get down in 4. So you can see the importance of hitting the fairway. I'm going to have a lot more control on the ball coming off the fairway, easier to create spin. Okay, we're playing off a slightly downhill lie in the rough. I'm looking at the ball. There's a bit of grass behind. It's not bad, but it's not, I want to be on the fairway. But there's part of me that sort of goes, yeah, I'm disappointed there, but there has to be part of me now. It's the challenge of this. If I can still make my 4, I'm happy. Okay, that's the key thing. And if I can play a really good shot, could I still get out of here with a 3? So there's still that part of me thinking about the ultimate result. What can I do? But realistically, on the green, 20, 25 feet, great. Now, as I said, we're in the rough and we're on a slight downhill lie. So those two factors are going to make this shot can come out a bit more powerfully. If you're on a downhill lie, tends to take loft off the club. Coming out of the rough, you can get grass between club face and the grooves, the ball and the grooves, and you end up getting less backspin on the ball. So now I've got to sort of take a little bit of an experience idea here. Where am I going to land this? Am I going to land it on the green and expect it to stop? Probably not with those two things. So now I'm thinking I need to land this maybe 10 yards short of the green and now rely on a decent bounce to run up onto the green. Make a decision, stick with it. So I've got my gap wedge. I'm going to do the 10-yard short shot. So I'm looking for a shot to land around about 70 yards. And again, because it is an awkward lie, that's quite an important thing. Have a couple of practice swings to get used to that lie. And also get a feel, as I'm going through that, I can feel that rough isn't that rough. It's not that thick. So is it going to influence it so much? Still going to stick with that shot. Okay, so weight on the left side because I'm going down the slope. Picturing a shot with my gap wedge landing about 70 yards. Commit to that idea. Okay, well, it's online. It's whether I hit it the right distance. Okay, needs to sit down. So, again, quite a firm bank. We're on the green, but it's run a little bit away from where we want to be. Okay, but that's okay because the way I look at it, I need to sort of learn from the tee shot for future games. That's the key thing. So when I play this hole, especially as the year goes on, it's going to get warmer. And as long as I stay fit enough, I can take a bit more off that corner. So it's a little bit of a learning curve of where my game is at the moment. That's probably gone 40 feet away from the hole. I'm okay with that because, again, I hit it nicely. It just didn't react quite as I wanted. I didn't do much wrong. The ball then didn't quite do what I expected. And this, again, is where I see golfers get very upset, annoyed, but it's out of your control. All I could control was the contact, the direction, and where I wanted to land it. After that, the golfing gods take over, okay? On this occasion, it didn't quite work out, but you never know. I've holed a few 40-footers in my life. I may hold that putt. Let's go and have a look. So here's where we ended up on the green. We were expecting to be about 40 feet away. We'll pace it out in a minute, okay? Okay, ideally, 30 foot would be the number from the tee. That would give us probably about a 10% chance I'd 3-putt this, 90% chance I'm going to 2-putt it. So 12 paces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 paces or so from the hole. So we're pretty much where we should have been. It looked a bit further down the green than it was back there. So we're around about 28 feet. Green reading method, find the low point. Low point's running down here. So this is 6 o'clock. This would be a straight uphill putt. This is pretty much the maximum break. I'm coming from around about 3 o'clock. So 11 times 2 is 22 inches of break. I'm going to aim 22 inches this side of the hole because this side is where the water goes. So by the time I walk back now, I now know what I'm going to do. That's the key thing. Now, that's about 5.5 hole width. So I'm using that as a guideline, picking something out on the green. And then because I've got that, it's just commit to that line. 2-putt this, I'll be very, very happy. Get my 4 pars, move on. That's my challenge done today. So, decent struck putt. Oh, we might get lucky. Well, here you go. So, if you commit to it, I've gained a complete shot there. 1.1 shots really on that putt. But again, it was all a little bit through the other putts. I had better chances, I didn't take them. But I still felt they were decent putts. So I had the confidence to keep it going. So on this occasion, if we look at our 4 holes, on average, I'd come through there, maybe 10% of the time I'd be 1 over par, okay? Majority, 90% of the time I'd be around about level par. Today, we happened to hold a really good putt. We're talking about a 27, 28 foot putt there for birdie, which we don't do very often. I mean, that's pretty much 1 in 25, I might do that at the best. Probably not even that number. 1 in 30, 1 in 40 chance I'd hold that putt. So we gained a bit there on that putt. But I think what happened as I went through that round is I kept my mind clear, and because I don't put any pressure on myself now, I just think, yeah, keep putting it in that general area. When I do get overshot, sometimes they come off a little bit better. But as you saw the challenge on our 3rd hole, which was actually the 4th hole of Corinthians, where I had to go under the limbs of the tree, again, you're thinking clearly. If you start to get a bit upset, you start to think irrationally, and your brain starts to think of weird things. So keep it clear. I hope you enjoyed today's video. As I played 4 holes, all I've done is just kept it as simple as I can. I looked at my data. I'll post that data now so you can see it to understand that breakdown of what happens as you go round. But if you get your mind in the right place, understand what you're meant to do for your level, keep your expectations in the right place, you'll start having success. If you have enjoyed the video, please share it with your friends, and I look forward to seeing you soon.